The sun is the source of all life forms on Earth. And so the sun was worshipped by almost all the ancient cultures on Earth in one form or another. But from a modern scientific point of view, worshipping the sun is very primitive and irrational. Doctors and scientists educate us not to look at the sun directly, as it might be harmful to our eyes. And moreover, with our busy lives, we hardly look at the sky in order to give thanks to the sun and the important role it plays supporting life here on Earth. Yet the sun goes on burning from within, to spread light and send its energies to support life on Earth, as well as help in its evolution. But recently a few people from various parts of the world have proved to mainstream science that the sun is much more than what we believed it to be. A few of them from India as well as many other countries have also shown how humans can live a healthy life without eating any food at all, surviving only on sunlight. Is the sun only an object in space, or is it a very evolved spiritual being? Is sunlight really harmful to our eyes, or have we been misguided? Is it possible that sunlight can actually cure all known diseases? Can humans really survive entirely on sunlight without taking any food for years at a time? This YouTube channel will address these questions as well as many other questions related to the truth about the sun. I am sure you will find this channel very interesting and very much useful.
My name is Hira Ratan Manek. I am popularly known in the Western world as HRM. My website is solarhealing.com. My email ID is hiraratanmanek@yahoo.com. I travel all over the world and give nearly 400 presentations. Nearly 200 of my presentations are in USA, Canada, Mexico, South America, and so on. I am preaching the science of sun gazing. Sun gazing has now established as the latest high-tech health technology. All diseases, whether they are mental, physical, are cured with the help of sun gazing. This is not a new technique. It is just a revival of an age-old ancient practice which was prevalent all over the world in all countries with all the cultures and all the religions. Slowly we lost the science of sun gazing, which I have now brought back. And this sun gazing activates the dormant human brain, and when brain gets activated, the infinite resources that are within us, which God has given us, which are largely remaining dormant or silent, get activated. Brain is a supercomputer. I call brain as brainuter. The resources is the software, the programming that we already have. Mind is the keyboard and the mouse. Sunlight is the electricity. And when sunlight, safe sunlight, through the eye reaches the brain's efficiency is raised, and in that process, the practitioner by himself, without anybody's help, without any cost, cures all his life's problems, and he gets total health for mind, body, and spirit. Medical studies are on my website, especially the major observation, the 411 days of fasting only on water was observed by international team of 21 doctors around the clock in Ahmedabad, India, and that committee was chaired by Indian Medical Association President. The doctors and scientists who observed me in United States for 130 days, their list is also given on my website. One of them was one Andrew Newberg, who features in the film What the Bleep Do We Know? He is a brain expert. Another scientist, George C. Brainard, who is World Authority on Pineal Gland, he also observed me. And I did even 211 days fast first time, that was in 95-96, that was also observed by a medical team. And now all those who have observed me they agree that so many changes, so many benefits human body gets by sun gazing, sunbathing, drinking sun-charged water, walking barefoot on bare earth, and so on. This practice was in the ancient days. It was lost. Some saint, mother of Aurobindo Ashram Pondicherry, hinted at me, and I got then interested in this ancient practice from 1962 onwards. I went through different cultures, different practices of sun worship, sun gazing. Especially I made a deep study of the practice of Native Americans, their sun gazing dances. Also, what are the scientific reasonings behind pyramids, why people in Bolivia, Peru did sun gazing, why there are sun temples in Peru, why there is sun gazing, a religious practice in India. I went through all those things, got interested, and finally I evolved a practice which I experienced myself first, and when I was successful, when I got benefits, I put it before medical doctors, and when they agreed, now I am sharing with the world, so that human welfare and world peace can easily come in. For the last about 12 years, mostly I am on sunlight and water, but I do sometimes for social purposes or under some weather compulsions, sometimes take liquids like tea, coffee, buttermilk, some juices. And in last 10 years, I have taken solid food only 5 or 7 times. But mostly I am able to live most of the time only on sunlight and water. Can you tell people what to do and what not to do? Yes, I tell people not to sun gaze during odd hours. Science has now divided sunlight into 2 parts, the safe sunlight and the intense sunlight. Safe sunlight is a medicine and intense sunlight is a poison. For the eye, 1 hour from sunrise or within 1 hour before sunset are very safe, and they actually improve the health of the eye, even the vision. For the body, to get energy and medicinal values, when the sunlight warms you, when the ultraviolet index of the sun is between 2 and 5, if you sunbathe, you get a lot of benefits from the sun, and cancer, AIDS, TB, arthritis, rheumatism, kneecap problems, osteoporosis, all those problems get cured. So I always tell people to be slow in the process, do according to their comfort, and make use of only the safe sunlight. And even now the UK Cancer Society from Canada also have come out with the suggestions that one should not miss safe sunlight. If you miss safe sunlight, even then you are bound to get physical problems like cancer, AIDS, and so on. So make use of safe sunlight, avoid intense sunlight. This is what I tell people, and they should do according to their comfort, should not treat this as a crash program. Just proceed with this, read my website, my suggestions, my instructions there, and in case of doubt, they can email me at hiraratanmanek@yahoo.com, and I am very quick to reply to the questions that come on my website. And I guide everyone all over the world. My website is solarhealing.com, and anybody sends questions, I immediately answer, and my website is also available in different languages. Many people have translated, and so you can read it in Portuguese, you can read it in Dutch, in Spanish, and even in French, and so on, even in Russian. So this message of sun gazing is going all over the world and is spreading.
Hi, I'm Matt Wilcox. I'm 25. I'm from Anaheim, California, currently attending Maharishi University in Fairfield, Iowa, and I am a sun gazer.
Could you just tell us a little bit about what sun gazing is?
Well, basically, it is what it sounds like. You gaze at the sun. You do it during certain periods of the day when it's safe, though.
Oh, the sun is very dangerous to look at. You lose your vision.
You can go blind or whatnot.
It's not good to look at it because it could get dangerous.
Why is that?
Because of the ultraviolet lights, ultraviolet rays.
The UV rays, I was told that.
Are you aware that there's no UV rays within 45 minutes of it rising or setting?
Didn't know that.
I wasn't aware of that. No.
Okay, let me correct myself and make one thing very clear. Most of the time, between 45 minutes of the sun rising or setting, the UV index is at 0, but sometimes it still can be low. So, it's always recommended to check the UV index before you gaze.
All right, so it's 8:15 p.m. At 8:05, this was updated. UV index 0. Sunset 8:28 p.m.
No matter what, if you're looking at it, no matter what time it is, if it's not comfortable, don't look at it. Use your instincts.
Explain to us from step 1 or step A to Z, like what is it that you do when you sun gaze?
What you do is you gaze at the sun with the bare feet, and you start with 10 seconds your first day, 20 your second, 30 your third day, and so on, up to 44 minutes. You work your way back down from 44 minutes, you take off 10 seconds, back down to 15 minutes, and from there you can do it for 15 minutes whenever you'd like. When you're done sun gazing, the ideal thing is to close your eyes until the image goes away, or cover your eyes until the image goes away, and that's about it.
All right, now how long have you been sun gazing?
Today will be 12 minutes and 50 seconds that I'll be staring at the sun.
And you progressively go up 10 seconds every day?
Yeah, 10 seconds every day that I sun gaze, yes.
What are the benefits?
Well, sun gazing has many benefits, other than the fact that it just feels so good. It has health benefits, and it has been said to be a path to enlightenment.
What do you think attracted you there?
I don't know. I guess my soul was attracted to sun gazing, and I think sun gazing was attracted to me. I think that it really finds you.
To your knowledge, is there anybody out there that you've known to have sun gazed and become enlightened? Are there any stories?
The most famous sun gazer is alive today. He goes by the name of HRM, and you can look him up. They did a study on him where they watched him day and night for 411 days, and he did not eat. He only drank boiled water. All his vitals were fine, his body was fine. The only thing that they found was that his pineal gland was larger than the average person. I wanted to know what was going on with my brain while I was sun gazing. So I decided to consult with Dr. Travis and get an EEG on me.
So my name is Fred Travis. I'm director of the Center for Brain, Consciousness, and Cognition here at Maharishi University of Management.
So, what are the results of my EEG?
So what we did is we looked at what your brain was doing when you were just looking at another object, looking at the tree, and then looking at the sun. The dots that we're seeing are where the brain waves were recorded. So when you had all the sensors on your head, there's a line between the dots if those parts of the brain are working together. So this is when you're looking at the tree, what you're seeing is the frontal areas are mostly active because the perceptual field is relatively, it's not changing, it's not very important. Let's look what's happening when you're looking at the sun. What we're seeing again, it's the frontal areas are still active, but there's much more, especially here in the lower end theta, in terms of the focus is much deeper, is much stronger, and also here and the level of gamma. And notice it's not only in the front, but also there's quite a bit of activity in the back. The whole brain has become a little bit more activated. Now the overall impression you see here is there's much more coherence, it's more red. That means there's much higher coherence when looking at the sun. Specifically, look again here at the gamma, fast frequencies between almost all parts that we measure. Just the whole brain, the gamma activity is much higher. The attention is much more on the object. Also interesting here in the theta, there's increased focus. And also, this are the two alphas. Notice alpha 2 has much more coherence when looking at the sun.
So pretty much to sum it up, more brain was used while looking at the sun compared to looking at an object far away, like a tree.
Yep.
Yeah. While knowing what's going on in my brain while I'm sun gazing was very interesting, I still have one important question to tackle. Is there a way I can safely look at the sun, or have my eyes been damaged? I decided the only way to truly know if my eyes have been damaged or not is to get the most thorough eye exam possible by some of the best doctors in the country. So I headed to the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics to the Department of Ophthalmology and Visual Sciences, where I was helped by resident Dr. Christopher Watts and Dr. Tim Johnson, who are both ophthalmologists.
Yeah, tell me what's going on.
Well, pretty much I'm here doing a documentary about sun gazing. So I wanted to ask an expert, like, what is damaging about looking at the sun?
The main thing that's damaging is the UV rays. Hypothetically, if you stare at the sun long enough without protection, without sunglasses, you can actually cause sometimes permanent damage. Have you noticed anything?
No, because when I look at it, there's no UV rays.
Really?
Yeah.
I was not aware. I was unaware that there was a time when there was no UV rays coming from the sun.
ZLOABC.
Good. So yeah, your center vision is 20/20. So that kind of fits with the fact that you probably don't need glasses. It doesn't mean you still can't have signs of damage back there. So yeah, you're nice and dilated. This is just a slit lamp. It's kind of a fancy camera that lets us look at everything under high magnification. Good. Just look right here at my... Your eyes never feel dry or don't dry out with looking at the sun, do they?
No.
Alright, so the back of your eyes actually look pretty healthy. I don't see any of the sunspots or signs of damage where you usually would see it. You would probably notice.
Alright, so Dr. Watts tells me your eyes are healthy at this point. Alright, I agree, your eyes are healthy.
Yes.
I must tell you, I certainly don't recommend looking at the sun.
So I just came out of my eye appointment and my eyes are perfectly healthy, so I'm really happy about that. And I don't know what else to say. The results speak for themselves.
So sun gazing is healthy.
Done correctly, yes, it's healthy. It's funny how we accept things as being true. I'd always believed that staring at the sun was bad for me. Come to find out, I was only told half the story.
And yes, sun gazing to me is love. Without the sun, none of us would exist on this planet. So to me, gazing at the sun is getting in touch with that love that's always extended to us at all times.
And another invite. And what I'm going to do is talk about the sun and sun gazing. Now, all these again are just my opinions. And like I said, a lot of my recordings, I don't want anyone to buy into any of my BS. That means my belief systems. I want them to find out if there's some truth in it for themselves. And what I've found is that the sun has never been our enemy. It's not the sun that gives you cancer as well. Obviously, if you go and burn yourself, then yes, you may make yourself more susceptible to perhaps skin cancer, so certainly cover up. But the sun has always been our friend. And if you notice, even though the sun, it's around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I can almost stare at it without wincing. And the reason I can do that is because my adrenal glands aren't fatigued. Now, one of the clear signs that I find with my clients, if they can't look at the sun, especially when it's first rising in the morning or going down, setting in an evening, that's because their adrenals are fatigued. And if their adrenals are fatigued, the chances are their thyroid is too. And I always want to know the etiology or root cause of that. However, my invite for you is to do this thing that I call sun gazing. What I mean by that is in the first hour or the last hour when the sun is setting, you can quite clearly look at the sun and not damage your eyes. Now, my invite is, if you're going to do this, if you've never stared at the sun before without your sunglasses, then only do it for 10 seconds. And then if you can do it the next day, it would be 20 seconds, and then the next day 30 seconds, and so on. So the last hour of the sun going down or setting, or the first hour in the sun rising, those are the 2 times that you could stare at the sun and it won't do your eyes any harm whatsoever. In fact, since I've been doing sun gazing since 2005, I could probably stare at the sun now for about half an hour. Now, it's a bit too high at the moment, but certainly if the clouds disappear, then that's what I'll be doing. The other thing to be aware of is that wearing sunglasses, I think it was around about the 1960s when people started looking cool wearing sunglasses. It's not cool. It actually damages your body. It actually certainly will damage your eyes. And the reason for that is because the full spectrum of light that is allowed to go through your iris or through into your retina is being stopped by 60% plus because you're wearing some cool sunglasses. Well, Paleolithic man, for however many millions of years we've been on this planet, has not been wearing sunglasses. And it really is not beneficial for our eyes. And I don't want to say what it'll lead to, but what I will say is that if you stop your eyes from allowing the full spectrum of light to go through, you are likely to have some challenges later on in your life with your eyes and maybe other parts of your body as well. So please be open to that the sun has never caused us any harm as such and has always been our friend, and don't wear sunglasses. Now, there are times perhaps when you may be required to wear sunglasses, like when you're sailing from refracted rays, or even perhaps when you are skiing. But apart from that, there really is no reason to wear sunglasses no matter where the sun is. Certainly don't burn yourself. As I mentioned before, you may want to cover up, and if anything, it's also the sunscreen which is likely to give you cancer as well, so don't wear sunscreen. Like I said, don't apply anything to the biggest organ on your body unless you would eat it, and of course that's your skin, because at least 60% will be absorbed, and then it will challenge the second biggest organ on your body, which will then be your liver. Not a genius formula. So sun gazing, 10 seconds if you've never done it before, next day 20 seconds, and so on, and build it up to about maximum 45 minutes that you'll be able to stare at the sun. And tell me, how do you feel? Because I feel really invigorated. I feel like energized when I ever look at the sun. I feel absolutely amazed. Like maybe it increases my serotonin. There's other bits that I've read about increasing vitamins and minerals and amino acids and whatever else, and I don't know if those are truths because I haven't seen the research on that. What I do know is I went to a talk by Master Hiran Ratan Menek in 2005 when I was in Calgary, and this gentleman has not eaten any foods allegedly, and all he drinks is buttermilk, teas and water. That's all he drinks, and he's not had any food, and he's well into his 60s if not early 70s now, and he's fine. And he gave this presentation talking about sun gazing. That's all he does. He just stares at the sun. He doesn't eat food but stares at the sun. Now I personally do eat food. I like my food. Well, you people know that. But I found that very interesting. But certainly what I did take away from his presentation is the actually staring at the sun. And what I can share with you is that when I had my eyes tested in 2007, I had what's called 6/4 vision. Now, you may know it as 20/20, as in perfect vision. Well, we use meters, not feet, and ours is called 6/6 is perfect vision. Better than 6/6 is 6/5, even better than 6/5 is 6/4, and my eyes measured 2 years ago were 6/4. When I went back, they were 6/3.8, so they've even improved with my sun gazing, and also, no doubt, the good nutrition that I put in my body, as well as the thoughts that I think and all the other things that I will mention on these recordings. There's quite a lot in this recording. Hopefully some of it makes sense, and go forth and find out if there's some truth in what I'm sharing with you. But the sun has never been the enemy, and my invite for you is certainly to do some sun gazing and see how you feel. First hour or last hour, 10 seconds, next day 20 seconds, next day another 10 seconds on top of that, so it'd be 30 seconds, next day 40 seconds, and so on, and just build it up nice and slowly. Now initially you might, when you turn your eyes away, you might feel a little bit dazed or whatever, that you can't see exactly, but your eyes will be fine. It does come with a warning that if you do damage your eyes, then there may be some other challenges going on there, but these are my experiences when I found that the sun has done wonders for my eyesight. I love you all. Have a fantastic day, and bye for now.
Really fascinated to see the boy who is fasting for 6 to 8 months, and that is not at all really so exciting to me, because I studied similar cases in past and I can understand this is possible.
Dr. Shah's most famous case is Prahlad Jani, a holy man who claims he has not eaten or drunk anything since he was 12.
I haven't eaten anything, not even now, even though I'm 80 years old.
That made me really quite excited, because I knew that this is something going to change the feeling of medical world.
Although I walk 100-200 kilometers in the jungle, I never sweat, nor feel tired or sleepy. I can meditate for 3, 8 or 12 hours or even months.
Prahlad Jani recently spent 10 days in observation, watched and filmed 24 hours a day.
Minute to minute, second to second. And he was kept in a cabin which was sealed from outside. The bathroom was sealed. One of my assistants would remain with him all throughout 24 hours in changing duty. Doctors would come throughout the day at different time, which was not be told to him. And we make sure that nothing can go wrong, in the sense medical world should know that there was not a single loophole.
They took blood samples from me 3 times a day, morning, afternoon and evening. They checked my kidney, brain and put machines all over my body. They were trying to find out which factors made my body work. They put machines inside my body also.
He was not given any food or water, and even when he was allowed to take a bath, the quantity of water was measured before and after to make sure nothing was lost.
As I said, after 10 days, the parameters were all normal. We studied his hematology, and whatever studies you can think of, we could do it.
I will live up to approximately 1,000 to 5,000, maybe even 10,000 years with this kind of body.
That there was no food or water given to this man, that he did not pass urine or stool, and even he did not dribble urine. After a few hours the urine would appear, some fluid would appear in the bladder, and again it would disappear.
It is possible to modify fluid intake so you produce a very small amount of urine each day, and if he is covered with a cloth, the chances are he could urinate and it would evaporate from the ground or soak into the ground without anyone noticing.
Modern medicine tells us that an average human can only survive for 4 days without water. While confined, Prahlad Jani incredibly lasted 10 days under observation. Dr. Shah has a theory on how he's managing to survive without food or fluid. he feels the holy man is feeding off the sun.
Iradadan Manik used to do solar gazing. He says that you have to go to a flat ground and barefooted and just look at the sun.
It's impossible for us to generate heat or light energy from looking at the sun, almost likening it to photosynthesis, which is the process by which plants generate their energy supply. And this is absolutely impossible for a human being to do.
On the first day you look for 5 seconds, but without blinking your eyes. Every few days you increase few seconds, and maybe after a month you come to a minute or so.
In fact, staring at the sun would damage the retina of the eye.
Scientists from America also examined him several times in ophthalmic system, and he found nothing abnormal.
The sun transmits energy through a hole in the holy man's throat, producing a sticky solid lump that he can redigest. This, he claims, refuels the chakra power points in his body.
It is not a miracle.
Good morning. This is an update on my sun gazing process, and this is my 15-minute threshold. So I just want to share with you a little bit of my experience with my minutes up to 15 minutes. Today, actually, I'm at 15 minutes and 30 seconds. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit of the experience that I've had with it so far. Because a lot of people out there have heard that, 15 minutes is when, basically when the magic starts happening with sun gazing. And again, for those who are just interested in sun gazing or new to it, I'm not advocating anything in any certain way. I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you basically the benefits as advice in that respect, like professional advice. And I can only tell you what my personal experience is and what it feels like and my theories behind it and all of that. So basically I really started feeling pretty good at like 4 minutes. I could feel the effects. The hunger was going down, and I was much calmer, much more peaceful and accepting of everything, and very interesting indeed. So that's when I started feeling, I guess, what you would call the magic of it, right? But the 15-minute threshold was quite beautiful, actually. Even before the 15 minutes, I was feeling more of a sensation in my head in a very positive way. Things were kind of more vibrant and all of that. And just going past the 15-minute threshold seems like it just enhancing a bit more. And one thing that was going on, what was interesting was, because I haven't gazed in a while, so I didn't have the long gazes for like maybe a couple of weeks at least. And then I started doing, like I was doing like 11 minutes, 12 minutes, and the sun was getting really intense in my eyes, and I was kind of freaking out a bit because when you look at a bright object, you see that spot in your eye for a while, then it goes away. Mine lasted for a couple days, and I was concerned about that, and I obviously didn't want to damage my eyes or any of that. So I kind of chilled out, then did it, then chilled out, try to find spots where I can get true sunrise quicker, or like earlier, or like a true sunset, because it's easier to look at the sun when it's very close to the horizon. And you got to time it, because each time your minutes go up, then you have to time when you're going to find a spot to gaze. So, but an interesting thing happened around, the 14-minute mark, in that area, 14 to 15. I just had a feeling, because I was having the spot in the eye still, and I was like, well, you know what? Just do a little experiment. continue. Don't worry about the spot, because I was waiting a couple days for the spot to go, then I'd gaze again. So I was just like, I did it, I started doing it every day. And eventually, which was very cool, I like this side effect, is that the spot started going away very quickly. Because I was doing the longer gaze, closer to the 15-minute gazes every day. Because I'm in beautiful Sedona, and we do get a lot of sun here, so this is a really good spot to gaze. And I was noticing that the spot was going away much quicker, and I feel that, and I was very happy, and the concern started going away, which is very cool. And so now, you know, like whenever within the safe hour, I'm pretty cool with it. I could look at the bright sun. Like today was like super easy just to gaze at the sun, and I really, really enjoyed it. And the other main focus is, for me especially, because I really enjoy sun gazing for the main focus of how it makes me feel, and I feel very centered, very calm, loving, cool, all that kind of stuff. All the goodness in the spiritual realm, whatever you want to call it, or the human experience. It really does enhance it, from my perspective. So, my other main focus is a pineal gland. I want to be able to focus in on a pineal gland to decalcify it. And I heard that sun gazing really does do that.
Alrighty, this is video log number 33. On day 33 of having sun gazed, and this is actually the final video log for my sun gazing experiment. And you know, I think it's been a great journey thus far, and I'm gonna fill you guys in on everything that I've kind of experienced since the beginning of this experiment. Some things that I actually probably didn't mention about the experiment that I will fill you guys in on now. Okay, so today when I sun gazed for 5 minutes and 45 seconds. So I definitely met the mark for what I wanted to do for this experiment, and you know, it felt amazing. Last night I slept for 3 hours exactly. I had lots of fun dreams, as I've become accustomed to. And something now I definitely have to mention to you about what I've started experiencing since I started sun gazing. It was gradual at first, hardly noticeable, and eventually I became more and more aware of it, and that was that I was able to enter REM sleep the moment I closed my eyes and went to sleep. You know, I would be like, okay, I'm going to go to sleep, and the moment I shut my eyes, immediately I'd fall into REM, because I was dreaming immediately. And that steadily increased, and it's currently at the point where if I'm sitting here right now and I close my eyes, I can begin dreaming almost immediately, and I jump into it right away. And this ties into my meditational practices as well, because now when I meditate, it doesn't take very long for me to be able to, you know, create my own inner world. Like I mentioned, the white room meditation technique. Before, I'd have to sit there and I'd have to, you know, use some sort of centering meditation or a mantra of some sort to kind of bring my focus inwards. And it could take upwards to, you know, up to 10 minutes to get into my own little world, my own little reality. Now it is almost immediate. You know, it's as easy as closing my eyes and I can see whatever I want to see. I can experience whatever I wish to experience. Tying that into sun gazing, I've made it so that I can meditate on the sun even when the sun's not out. An internal reflection of the sun, right? And, you know, any yogi, if asked, would tell you that we do have a sun on the inside. There's an inner light. It's been known as our Atma, our Ruh, our soul, you know, the inner force. But it's always been there. And people throughout the ages have learned how to utilize it. And, you know, it seems though as time's progressed we have forgotten how to appreciate and how to fully utilize this energy. So that is something I hadn't mentioned before, and the reason for it was because for me it was more something that was, it impacted me to the extent of people actually questioning whether or not what I was experiencing was legitimate and if I was being rational about it. I assure you I've tried my best to be skeptical and rational of everything that I'm experiencing. And I mean, a lot of what I am experiencing could be attributed to the fact that I do get up and I meditate. You know, there's a lot of serotonin in my system. Probably a lot of DMT and stuff as well, because It's a natural substance that is within your body. Your body doesn't utilize it the way psychedelics cause you to utilize it, but it's there. It seems to definitely serve a function. So beyond that, I want to kind of mention the fact that this experiment has been definitely something that has helped me build further discipline in my morning practices. Because for over a month's time, I was stringent to ensure that I did wake up, and now when I wake up, I have an urge to drink water, a glass of water. Why? Because that was the next thing I always did after waking up. So the discipline itself has caused me to produce habit, has caused me to further produce, a character that revolves around my morning practice. Amrit Vela, the immortal's hour, right when I arise. It's talked about a little bit in alchemy as well, being able to rise before the sun does, and then ride that wave of energy throughout the entire course of your day. People like Guru Nanak, Lao Tzu, Zhuge Liang, people throughout history have talked about how rising before the sun and witnessing the sun as it literally charges the planet in the morning is key to understanding a healthy and experiencing a long lifestyle. A life in which you are not only expanding your consciousness, but you're also working towards physical fitness. So I honestly believe that discipline and form and purity and essence are two separate things which are truly one, and it is when an individual is able to bring practices that sharpen the mind and practices which fortify the body together that they have understood the ultimate way.
Hi guys, I can't even tell you how amazing I'm feeling right now. I'm just feeling so great. I can't remember how amazing I haven't felt this way in a long time. I'm just honestly, this is my 5th month of sun gazing, and I just feel on fire, like the song of Rihanna. Seriously, I really feel like a goddess these days. 5th month has been amazing, and it's the 19th today. I just feel like I have such goddess energy. I feel so vibrant. It's like anyone I ever see or meet, I just feel like I want to smile at the world. I just feel so happy. So sun gazing is making me feel on top of the world. I would read all these books about different goddesses. I would read all this information about, Venus and, how to have goddess-like energy. And I just feel like sun gazing has transformed me into just feeling so average Joe before. And now I feel like my aura can go out millions of miles away. I feel like sometimes I had constricting myself and keeping my aura in sometimes, which is kind of random. I know it's kind of funny, but there's a lot of people that keep their auras in really, really, really tight, just for protection so you don't attract low vibration. And I've been doing that for so long, but lately I have been allowing my aura to go out so far, and it's very freeing to just let your aura go out and just flow and just be free and not to constrict your aura. But then there's moments where I'm working and I bring it in because sometimes it's too much, and it's people can feel my energy outside, so I don't want to be too overwhelming, but I'm just feeling on fire. And I'm doing yoga every day too.
Good morning, everybody. Listen, I know this is kind of an early post and everything like that, but I don't care. I have to actually tell the truth. I got excellent news to tell y'all. All right. I fell asleep. I wear contacts. I don't know if you all knew that. Well, actually, I don't think I ever even mentioned it, to be honest with you. I only mentioned the fact that I started sun gazing. But listen. I'm telling you, listening to yourself, loving yourself, getting to know who you are, it tells you a lot of things that nobody else even be willing to tell you. So last night I decided to go ahead or whatever, or well, I didn't decide. Actually, I fell asleep while I was reading. I was doing some research and stuff like that. And I fell asleep in my contact lenses. And when I woke up this morning, I realized that, I was missing a contact. Well, actually it was stuck to my face. So I peeled it off or whatever and I threw it away because, it's no good anyway. I go and, use the bathroom and all that stuff or whatever, usual rigmarole and everything like that. And then I realized that, wait a minute, part of my eye or whatever, the eye without the contact, it's actually focusing as if I had the contact still in. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I am not lying. I immediately started crying, and I really don't cry very easily, but those were tears of joy. Tears of the fact that I am glad that I listened to me. Okay? Now, I didn't even know that other people were stargazing and things like that. Or not stargaze. Well, actually, it is a star. It's a beautiful, shining star. But anyway, I didn't even know that everybody was stargazing. I've always wondered that why are we told that, you'll go blind if you stare into the sun. So, of course, I tried. Hell, my eyesight's already bad. Can't get no worse, Well, actually, it can get better. Trust, it can get better. Y'all, I'm telling you, try it. Try it. If you were as blind as a bat like I am, just, I'm not saying or whatever, immediately go outside or whatever and just start staring right into the sun, especially if it's high noon or something like that. Start off slowly. Use common sense. I just started off or whatever in the morning. As soon as I realized or whatever that my eyes would adjust to being able to see the sun. And I realized that, that brightness or whatever is nothing more than a reflection off of the clouds in the atmosphere. That's it. The sun itself actually can heal your eyes as well as your skin too. So when I keep saying or whatever, get back into nature, like 13 Sun and a lot of people or whatever, I give a lot of big ups to those people. When they say that, they mean it. They're telling the truth. They're actually doing it, just like I am. I promise you, this is not a joke. This is not to be for fun or anything like that. I'm sorry towards the opticians and, people, whatever, who are so, gung-ho about, the medical facilities and stuff like that. I don't trust y'all no more. That's just plain and simple. I don't trust you. Doctor, yeah, you might want, I looked up the root for that. And it's not good. And I'll tell you that much for sure. I don't trust any of you all at all. Sorry, I won't listen to you. I won't listen to you at all. And, if the sun can actually heal your eyesight, give you all the nutrients you need in your skin, when you're putting that junk, the SPF 40 and all this stuff, when you're putting that on your skin and everything like that, that's what's causing skin cancer. It's like you're putting, you're making positivity, which is coming from the sun. You're not allowing it to come in. You're creating a barrier to not allow it to come in. So that means you're blocking essentially your nutrients. It's like you're starving your skin or whatever of the nutrients it deserves. So essentially, by you spreading that on there and they're saying whatever, oh, it's so, people are just dying of skin cancer left and right and stuff like that. The only reason why they're dying from skin cancer is because they're not allowing their skin to be able to get the nutrients they require. Simple. Very, very simple. So stop spreading that stuff on your skin. And stop putting that on your baby's skin too. And wake them up or whatever and let them see the sun as well. I bet you, you won't have to buy glasses and contact lenses and stuff like that for them. Because I'll be honest with you, I got one contact in my right eye, and I got one in my left eye. And the left eye or whatever, there's only a part that's focused, and the rest of it or whatever is all blurred. Like I know that there is no contact in. But I guarantee you, I lie to you not. As me as my witness, as me as my witness, I see my sight is improving. I see it. And I promise that anytime I come across any information, anytime I come across any bit of truth, I will share it. I will share it immediately. I won't sit on it, mull on it, or anything like that. I will tell the truth as soon as possible. I will share it as soon as possible. I promised myself that I would do that.
Hello, today I'm gonna tell you something really important, so pay attention to that. It will help you. It takes like 3 or 4 months to put it together, to go through the process and all of that, but it's really worth it. Now I'm gonna tell you a backstory of my life, right? It will be interesting as it links to what I'm gonna tell you next, right? So let's say that I'm wearing glasses for years and years, right? When I was like 8 years old or whatever, right, they discovered that I don't see very well. And what they did, they put me to all those tests and all of that, and it came out that my eyes are really screwed up bad. If I'm gonna tell you in a moment what actually happened, you will know what I'm talking about. So let's say I had glasses. They were huge, because back in the day we didn't have that plastic something like those, right? That's my last glasses. They are made of plastic. They're really light, right? There's 4 and 4.5, right? And I was that little kid with that huge glasses, right? And I went to the doctor. They treat me. Over the years my glasses reduced from 11 and 11.5 on the other eye to 4 and 4.5, right? And when I was 18, they say, we are really sorry, you've got that genetic issue and we can't do anything about it, right? So respect what you gained through all those years, because you can expect one thing: it's gonna get worse. And I was there sitting, I'm 18 years old, and I know that when I will be about 30 or 40 or 50, my glasses will be again 11 or whatever, right? But it will be hard for me. So I just felt discouraged and all of that, right? I've been meditating for all those years, and my senses get sharper, but not sharper enough so I can take off my glasses, right? So it went, the 2 years passed by, nothing really happened. I go to the doctor and he says, look, that's what you've got, that you will have for the rest of your life. I'm really sorry about that, right? And I was sorry as well. And I just, for an accident, I was looking for an internet. I think I was looking for Joachim Emberdin. That's the guy. He preached that. There's plenty of people who preach that as well, like Heran Ratan Manek. And if you heard that name before, you know what I'm gonna say. Sun gazing fixed my eyes over the period of few months. I've got in a mobile how long did I do that so far? I'm gonna tell you in a second. Oh god, 21 minutes 50 seconds so far, right? So I went up to 21 minutes 50 seconds and my eyes, they're fine. It's incredible. Over the years no one could help me, and that's actually helped me. That's really incredible. That's outstanding. And now when you don't need to do that, when you don't need to remember about your glasses, when you don't need to buy them and all of that, right? It's amazing. And I can read, I can stare at computer, nothing happens. Because now I'm gonna tell you step by step what I've done over the few months to make it better and heal it and all of that, right? But remember, you have to give it a go for a longer period of time. But because I was about to give up, I just thought that is pointless. That I think that's some kind of bullshit or something like that. But I gave it a month more. When I was in 2 months, I was about to give up. Actually, nothing happened. I just felt a little bit better. So I thought, why bother going outside, standing on the ground, looking on the sun, if I can meditate in my own house where it's warm and all of that, right? So I thought, I'm gonna give it like a month. And in that month, miracles happen. I remember when I just wake up, I looked around on my room and I couldn't believe that all those things that I see are so sharp, color were so bright and so alive. I couldn't understand why, right? Because that didn't happen before. So I just thought that, okay, and I just keep going. I was working on the night in that time, so when I wake up, it was afternoon, and then the evening comes up pretty fast, right? So I went out And as I was going to the shop, I saw that sun is actually going down, right? So I thought I've got some extra time, so I stare at it. In that moment, before I do that, my vision getting blurry once again. I just thought that's just random something, whatever, right? But when I start to look at the sun, when I stopped to doing that in that same day, right, after those 15, 20, whatever minutes, right, that I was at, I noticed that my vision came back to that state that was before when I wake up. So that gave me an idea that maybe that practice actually helps me over the time, but my condition was so bad that it takes a lot of time to fix anything. So, okay, so I just thought maybe if I do it for a little while longer, that will help me. And you know what? It's been a month and something, and my eyes start to get like hurt from the glasses. If you have round glasses on your eyes, you will see that your eyes start to, you have pain in the head, pain in your eyes, and you feel bad, right? Because you've got round glasses. And then I just took them off for like 15-20 minutes, pain went away, and I took my glasses back. So what happens? Pains came back after a minute. So I take them back, and I noticed there is not a much of the difference between me looking at the computer without glasses and with them. So I thought that I'm gonna take them off. In that moment, my vision wasn't perfect. That's what I can say. In my room, I had a sofa, and I sat on that sofa, and I didn't touch my laptop for a long time. I didn't move it. Why? Because I was staring at the clock. In the very beginning, when that effect went down, that I start to feel blurry and see blurry and all of that, I noticed that I can't see the clock on my computer. Yes, it was so bad. And over the time, I just throw my glasses somewhere else, because when I wear them, headache. So, and I've been doing that every single day, because I had that hope in myself, maybe that will help me, right? And if you consider me having some kind of genetic issue and all of that, that I've been told over the years that can't be better and all of that, they get a lot of strange treatments on me and all of that. And then in top of that, if you ask me why I didn't get laser surgery, it's quite cheap, because I can't. And my doctor said that if you're gonna get a laser treatment and something goes wrong, you're gonna be blind, because that's the problem with your eyes. So I just thought, shit, I can't do anything. So when this shift start to happening to my eyes, to my mind, because there is a lot of things that gonna go through your head, right? And you're gonna realize how a lot of things, right? And a lot of things that I realized was connected to the things that how I look in your reality, how I look on myself, how I looked on other people, how I look on my life, and all of that. Through that energy in me increased, right? You will feel that. I don't need to tell you that. You will feel that, right? After some time, you will feel it so clearly that you cannot stand it, right? Okay, so back in the topic, when I start to feel and see that I feel better and my eyes gets better, I start to do that over and over again. Every single day I start to increase the time and all of that, right? So after I don't know, few weeks, because I can't tell you exactly from day to day what happens, because I'm talking about few months now, right? So I'm not gonna tell you that after a week I felt that, after 2 weeks I felt that. All I can tell you, it's working. If you do it correctly, because I saw a movie that guy said that is dangerous and all that. I'm gonna go through that later and tell you what did he done wrong, so he have some kind of bad side effects, right? Because if you done that practice correctly, it's a great thing. It will help you, it will increase your energy, it will heal your eyes. I'm a great example of that, right? So no one gonna tell me that that doesn't work or is harmful or whatever. Okay, so, and back in the day I was sitting next to my computer, in front of it actually, sorry, and I've been looking on that time on a corner on my laptop every single day, right? So I see over the time that image gets sharper, and I could read without my glasses, and everything was sharp, and then I got that sharpness in my eyes. Nothing's blurring anymore. Isn't that amazing? Nothing is blurring anymore through all those years, and nothing is blurring anymore, and I don't need my glasses anymore. That's incredible. That's why I want to share with you that, right? So I was sitting there and watching day by day, and you just can't trick it whether you see it or not, right? And you can't say you see something if you don't, because life verifies that really quick, right? So I was sitting there, and there was like sometimes something happens during the sleep. I don't know, is there regeneration or I don't know what it is, but after a sleep, when you are asleep and when you wake up, your vision will feel better. I don't know how that happens. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not saying what happened to me, right? And after I wake up one day, I feel amazing. I feel good. I feel vibrant, like warm inside and all of that, right? And then I looked around on my room, and everything was sharp. From then on, I don't wear my glasses. I just keep on practicing, right? And then I thought, what will happen if I stop? Will my vision come back to normal, like to be -4 and -4.5? And the answer is, your vision will stay fixed permanently, because I've tested already. That's why it takes me so long to figure it out, right? What you have to do step by step and all of that. And is it permanent? Because there's no point in doing something if it's a quick fix. If it's a quick fix, it probably doesn't worth it anyway, right? So that's what my message is for you. You can do that. Next video will be how to do that step by step, right? Now I just wanted to tell you my story about it, right? How I do that. And that guy's name is Heran Ratalmanek. I'm gonna put the link down below to his website. He's saying how to do that. I done exactly what he said to his principles, right? And then I do it a little my way, because there is not a lot of the sun in England, right? If you look out the window, the sun is actually a little blinking something, and you see all those clouds and all of that. So that's why it's really hard. If I have to stop every single time when I can't see the sun, it will take me 20 years to do that, honestly, in this environment. So I'm gonna tell you how I did that and what is working for me, right? How I've done, what is my experience and all of that. I'm gonna tell you that in previous video, next one, right? So just to say that is working, that's what helps me, right? And I've been doing the other exercises to help my eyes as well. I'm gonna show you that exercise later on as well. So thank you for watching. That's the first part of it. I'm gonna explain you everything through as we go through, right? Because I know there's a lot of people who wearing that, right? And they want to get rid of that, and they are afraid of laser treatment, or they can't have it like me, right? And that's the easy way of doing it. Thank you. I would like to invite you for another video, for another part of that sun gazing series, that I'm gonna tell you step by step what I've done, what you have to watch over and all of that, how to recognize and all of this, right? We got 14 minutes and 35 seconds. Be good to yourself, be good to others. Thank you. Have a lovely day then. Come on for the next part.